Great prayer requests each day, and indeed it doesn't have to take you early in the morning before you pray. Each minute of the day is a prayer requesting time that you have to put before your maker. And one person I know who is very prayerful is Gifty and Oapia joining me this morning. And Gifty, good morning to you. Great
morning,
woman.
Roland. How are you?
Chala day. And which newspapers are you doing, Gifty?
I have the final newspaper. I can start with that one.
Yeah, great.
Okay, so the final newspaper, banner headline, self-reliance is the way forward. President urges young entrepreneurs. That story is on page 8 of the final newspaper. Above that, you have NPP's bloated voters register position vindicated, page 4. And John Boydu is saying that. Anas bus Rage Hospital staff selling PPE is also on page 4, and it comes with a picture of Anas and some of the scenes from the video. And then fishing industry at the verge of collapse due to overexploitation is on page 5. And Wasi questions not difficult. That's according to the candidates. Okay, so let's go through the bit more of the papers of the final newspaper. So you find that story, the details of the Wasi questions not difficult, the story that has been attributed to some of the candidates on page 2, and it is written by Christabel Oboshi Annan and John Apia in Accra. I want to take your time and read that story. GES recalls dismissed candidates to write Wasi. Of course, we know the story, the backstory to that particular development. And on page 4, you find all the other stories that I told you about in the front page, on the front page. And a bit of addition, though, is that Rage Hospital has suspended 2 of its staff for malpractices. Of course, the ones linked to what the story investigated. And also on page 5, you have fishing industry at the verge of collapse due to overexploitation. That story is there. And ADB encourages customers to update their records. About 17,200 Ghanaians die annually due to vitamin A deficiency. Okay. And I'm sure vitamin A is very easy to get. You are married to a nurse. You could give us a bit more information on that. But let me wrap up with the back page of the final newspaper. Self-reliance is the way forward. That story I read to you on the front page. It is written by Daniel Nono at the Jubilee House, and it has some pictures as well of President Akufo-Addo engaging those young entrepreneurs. Okay, I think there's a story that I skipped from inside the final newspaper. It says NHIS mobile renewal enrollment by 19th in July. Okay, not sure what that means, but police officers in Northern Ghana get special promotion incentive. They need much more than that, I'll say. They need more resources to make them more effective, take out all the political interferences, make them more effective as well. And police to commit to cement relationship with media. Yahya Masahudu in Tamale wrote that story. We're here. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. So that will be it for the final newspaper. Roland, I'll have you go through what you have, and then I'll organize the rest that I have to go through for you.
All right. So let me go through the Ghanaian Times. It has on the front page, Beirut explosion. And following that aftermath, there had been an intention to already repatriate some Ghanaians home. And 350 Ghanaians head home from Lebanon. That also is on the front page. The main banner headline, as we call it, on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, as the Lebanese embassy also opens the book of condolence right here in Accra. We also do know that as of yesterday, apparently, coronavirus cases in Beirut, the outskirts of Lebanon, had been increasing. Our heart always will go to the Lebanese people. Ammonium nitrates. Charlie. Okay, so we have other stories. The president presents 100,000 Ghana cedis to presidential pitch third season winner. Good thing as well. Great support scheme for young entrepreneurs. 2 health workers suspended over alleged sale of PPE in Rage Hospital. And we spoke to Dr. Emmanuel Stropanyo of the Greater Accra Regional Hospital yesterday on the subject as well, continuing investigations as to still on. 13 rioter students to write examinations under guardian escort. That's what the statement said from the Ghana Education Service, and it's on this. That's why we're speaking to Cassandra Chum Ampo for right here on the show this morning. She is boss of public relations at Ghana Education Service. Today she's agreed to speak to us. Cassandra, we're waiting for you. Police bust ring operating pornographic website at Osino, and apparently this gentleman operates the website. Very popular. Empress, give to him Empress A.
Well, you don't even need to say it for people to start looking it up, I think.
Empress Leak. Okay, it's called Mario G.
I'm saying you don't need to say it for people to look it up, because that's the whole idea. The whole idea for these, porn, whatever, illegal sites is to get more mentions. The more mentions you give them, the popular they get, the more curious your children get to want to find out what this is. And they look it up. And at the end of the day, that's how it spreads,
Okay, Gifty, I'm sorry. I've retracted the statement.
Thank you.
I wanted to listen, but... Okay, so other stories on the front page of the Times got to do with other related stories, all connecting to the back page. Nationwide orientation program for assembly members launched in Accra. You do know that a former president, candidate for the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, says that when he is elected, he will be paying assembly members some allowances or money.
Okay. I see. Well,
and we had the majority leader in parliament says it's impossible. He can't just go about banding all that. But policy intentions.
That's a very familiar political zone. We know it. Let's just move on to the next page.
I know, right? One thing we can move on from there is a subject, because tomorrow, my boss for the AM show, Derek Ekosam, says that we'll treat that sharp main discussion as possible to be able to pay assembly members in these times. Do you have the daily graphic? I want you to do the daily graphic.
I'm not sure if I have daily graphic, but I do have Dispatch and the Statesman.
Okay.
I can start.
Okay. Wait. Give it to boy. I'm pre. One shout. Daily graphic has on the front page: conquer the world with ideas. President tax presidential pitch winners. 10 winners already receiving 1 million Ghana cedis, and it has an inserted picture of the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, interacting with Mr. Douglas Akolgo, the overall winner of the 3rd edition of the presidential pitch, and alongside him is the minister responsible for business development, Dr. Mohammed Awal, who apparently was one time the boss of the Daily Graphic. So that's a good one there. First Atlantic Bank, though, is launching the Silver Jubilee. Has an attached picture of Mr. Amakwe Ama, the board chair of First Atlantic Bank. Abhor acrimonious politics, Catholic bishops entreat all, and we need this. We're just a few months to December 7th, the general elections to be convened right here in our country. And already the times have not been good since we started all this noise about we want to have a new voter register compiled, and undertook that compilation. And now we're still, Charlie, Still a lot of things. Dismissed students pardoned to write examination is a good one. And then we have one, I'll be in the last one, the Daily Guide. MPP fires hate for vote NDC video. Has Mustafa Hamid, John Buedu and Samia Uku at that press conference that was convened on Monday. Nana gives another 1 million Ghana cedi to starters. Good one as well. And Ahoy throws jabs at Rollins, the book, dear Charlie. You're serializing it. Joseph Akable is actually the main source of the new serials from the book. So, or kind chapter be now they are to myjoyonline.com. So please go to myjoyonline.com. You get all the updates. Forget about the other website. They are not the originators of the the republications. So don't worry. Okay. Gifty, please go ahead.
With the Statesman?
Yeah. Move on with the rest, actually.
Right, very well. I have the Statesman banner headline: Babies with Sharp Teeth won 2008 for Mills. Ahoy accuses Rawlings of busily scheming for his wife. See story on page 2. It says, and it comes with a picture of Phyllis Kwachi or Kwachifosu, Edward Omane Boama, Dr. Edward Omane Boama, and Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa. I mean, it looks like those are the people that the statesman is referring to as the babies with sharp teeth. And then beneath that story, you have where vindicated over bloated register, says NPP. Comes with a picture of John Boydu in the background. You have President Akufo-Addo and presidential pitch winner. Others grab 1 million CDs. That story is on page 2 of the Statesman newspaper. Let's see. I'm going to try and take you through the inside pages of the Statesman. I think I have the center spread. Yes, 5,000 businesses to receive funding to the tune of 50 million. Who are these, or which businesses are these? Who owns them? And I mean, how are we doing the distribution, by the way? Is it equitable? Is it equal? Yeah. Government moves to avert Ghana-Nigeria trade showdown. Amazing stuff. I hope we're solving that problem with some seriousness right there. And yeah, then they have some, what you call it, adverts in there as well. Back page of the Statesman newspaper. Samaris, I hope I got the name right. World Cup winner says joining Manchester City is like winning the lottery. Okay. An Italian claps on the hunt for Ghana's Efriye Aqua. Also, that story is on the back page of the Daily Statesman. Let me wrap up with the Dispatch newspaper. A banner headline, Greater Accra, Northern and Central. It's talking about the voter register comparison. So they're comparing 2016 and 2020. They've done this on day 35. So Greater Accra has gained 402,765. Northern region has gained 165,225, and the central region has gained 142,015 votes. That's an addition to the number of people who are registered voters there as compared in 2020 as compared to what we had in 2016. So there's some analysis there in the Daily Dispatch. And John Mahama praises EC. Voters registration met expectations. The story is on page 2. Comes with a picture of the NDC logo, former President John Mahama, and of course, Mrs. Jin Mensa. 2020 U.S. elections, Russia supporting Trump and China supporting Biden. Really? Okay, that story is on page 11. I don't know the details of it, but grab yourself a copy of the Daily Dispatch. Take a look at what it says. I'll take you to the center spread. Rawlings is like a sun trophy bird. Kwamina Ahoy. And then highlights of the 2020 mid-year budget review statements. They bring you that as well. Then down memory lane, Nkrumah in the whirlpool of ethnic and international politics, and what led to the friction between Rawlings and some ex-appointees. So those stories are all there for you in the Dispatch, the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Good morning to Uncle Ben. It's been a while we had him on the show, Roland. Yeah, so essentially that's it for me from here. Roland.
Well, definitely. But we have to now make our pitches. What do you want to take a look at, Gifty? Let's start with you.
I was actually just trying to quickly look through and find out if I think I said, okay. Well, what would be my pick? There was a story that was hidden somewhere in the one that I reviewed earlier. I think that would have been the Finder newspaper, with the police officers being promised, the police officers in the northern region being promised, some incentives. I have not read that story. I don't know the details of that story, but it feeds into something that I was commenting on yesterday. I think that the police that we have in this country need more support. They need less of the political interference that we have seen, which is ultimately inevitable. And I'm not the only one saying this. So many people have said it. That if you look at the structure of the policing, the structure of the hierarchy in terms of who heads what, you realize that it is so impossible to say there won't be interference. And you and I live in this country, Roland. We know what happens. And I was using the case of Kafaba, how the people involved, the suspects involved, went missing or went into hiding. But some way, somehow, the same Ghana police that we criticize so much, the same Ghana police that we look down upon, was able to track these people and bring them down to justice. I think it's just a great example to tell all of us that if we allow the police and if we actually equip them, there is so much that they can do for this country. And we're shooting ourselves in the foot by the way we treat them. So I say that the people of Ghana should make one of this, policing, the effectiveness of the policing, availability of resources to policing, one of the major agenda for what will influence their votes. I think if we begin to get, it might sound like, a lost battle from beginning because of the structure that we have in the Constitution, but I think it is worth highlighting and getting people to make a bit of noise about it. You could say that unless you change the Constitution, you may not have any serious changes in the structure of the policing system. But of course, when people who are benefiting from the system are in charge, you don't expect them to do anything. And that's why we've struggled in this country over the years with changes in the Constitution. You make some changes, nobody is even willing to look at it because the people who are at the helm of affairs at the time, they are benefiting from the structural weaknesses. So I think I'm glad that some attention is being paid to the police. It does look to me, though, as though not enough. And I think we should do more for our police, resource them, especially those in the villages, those in remote areas, those in hotspots. As we near the election, we should pay some more attention to the police. So I think there are some big stories, but that will be my pick, essentially. Roland.
Yeah, and if you read the story, the enhancement of the incentives is to make sure that we do encourage the police. And I think that's a good thing because yesterday when this issue came up, we did indicate that it's not only the police who need this sort of service for those who tend to work for the public sector. You get to find that, contrary to what we seem to think, many of those who tend to do the sacrificial work, whether they are in the security services or they are in health or in education or other sectors, if it's agriculture, particularly, don't get the sort of incentives for them to work in rural communities. The thing is, you and I know that when you visit places outside the main city centers, you don't have access to the amenities, you don't have access to proper educational structures or health. And so you find that if it's a medical doctor or a police chief who is somewhere outskirts the main city centers in the hinterland, their children won't go to some of the best schools that will be as competitive as those that we have in the city centers. And that become a worry for anybody who has advanced in age and wants to have some aspirations for the family or his own personal aspirations. And I'm hoping that, well, this is not all talk, but the reality is that we'll do something about the incentivization. So.
I really hope so. You see that police officer in the video we just showed standing in the sun directing traffic. And sometimes you have them there when it's raining. They'll be in some funny raincoats. You'll have them there when the sun is up. I think that the police, they're really doing their best. It's up to us to resource them and give them the free hand to operate. I was saying that I think 2 or 3 years ago, I did a story where I was talking to the Volta Regional Commander at the time. And he was telling, and I found out from some of the police officers that they were not even aware. The IGP had announced a package for police officers who die in the line of duty. And I found out from the police officers, most of them were not even aware. I mean, they didn't know what that was. They didn't know that there was any announcement of any package, let alone what was involved, what was in the package itself. And I'm like, how do you announce a policy for me and I have no idea about it? So, we can do better.
Yeah, that's true.
What's your pick?
My pick is the incentive that has been given young people, the third presidential pitch. And we know that this is the second time around we're having a ministry for business development. There was Rashid Pelpo also heading a ministry like that at the presidency during the John Mahama-led administration. But this is, I believe, that the best time that we've been able to see a concrete action that has been taken by that ministry to reward young people who want to go into entrepreneurship. And one of the things that they've been able to do within the last 3 or 4 years is to be able to impact knowledge, try to train the young people to be in a position where they have the sort of knowledge and the mindset that entrepreneurs need to be able to work in that environment. And Gifty, if you work with many entrepreneurs in Ghana, there are a plethora of problems that they go through. And the environment is not good. We have a socio-cultural attitude of collecting bribes. And so you find that if they have to get government contracts or anywhere they have to work with, they have to pad the contract sums, because some 10% will go either to some top man somewhere. Those at the middle also will collect the money. Even for those who work with only private sector agencies, they don't have the right sort of workers who have that sort of attitude to be patriotic and sacrifice for their companies. So the entrepreneur in Ghana is not the normal person or the same entrepreneur who will be working either in South Africa or, let's say, in Europe or in America. So I believe this is a good one. What we need to do is to make sure that we track what they do, and whether we will get a certain batch, whether from the first batch, second batch, third batch, who 5-10 years down the lane will be big entrepreneurs in Ghana. That we need to see. And I'm hoping that ultimately all of us can become great entrepreneurs in our various fields, not just reporting.
I hope so. I hope so. And I also hope that the processes were fair, transparent, and without the usual politics that we know. I also hope that their businesses are climate sensitive, as in these are, so we do the Climate Innovation Center, we do JoyNews, we do a project with them where they highlight, the businesses that they've supported and how environmentally friendly and sustainable those processes are. I think that's an area that we should really, really look into. So there are people who are doing fantastic work with rubbish, people who are doing fantastic work protecting the environment. So I hope that along the line, if they don't have anything like that along the line, they'll have people who are into some of these businesses that also has a succession plan, or that has a plan of teaching other people what they're doing, so that it can be more sustainable. Because when the president says that self-reliance is the way to go, we have seen how we've touted self-reliance over the years, and we're still not yet there. So
I know, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to say it. Even the Bible tells us to, confess it and have faith. That's, Ghana beyond aid, even if we're not there yet, is good. But there are things, God has given us the wisdom and the grace to do the things that will make us self-reliant. It's up to us to make use of it and to create the environment that actually makes that.
It's almost like we have to walk the talk, right? We don't seem to walk the talk many of the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to do the talk. It's good to do the talk. It's not bad, but it's good to back the talk with action, especially when you have the ability, you have the capacity. We have money in this country, Roland. You know that. We have money in this country. If we decide to do the right things with our money, we can get there. But the politics is killing us. The bad attitude is sucking us in, and we keep going round in circles. Well, we are here to share our thoughts, our perspectives, speak our minds. Hopefully, we'll get there someday.
Sound like it's far off. Well, let's see how it goes. And Gifty, I wish you the best for the day. When are you come back from leave?
I have to do the calculation. Maybe I have to go onto the Oracle and do the calculation and see if I have some more days I can add,
Okay. You mean the soothsayers Oracle or the software?
The software. The software that multimedia uses, which is very effective.
Okay, Oracle Gifty, consult the oracles for the day. I wish you the best for this Tuesday, Gifty. I'll call you. I'll call you sometime around March. I need some eggs, boiled eggs.
Bye.
Okay, bye, dear. Okay, so that'll be it. For now, we did the review of the newspapers.